second grade elementary students. This is Miss Horn coming to you from Meadowview. We're going to pick up where Miss Ronnie left off yesterday on lesson 2. We're going to review a few concepts that we talked about. We're going to review length, a measurement that tells the distance from one point to another. Measure, what does it mean to measure? To determine the length of an object by comparing it to a standard. Okay. You talked about inches yesterday. Inches is the smallest unit of length in the U.S. customary system. A quarter is about 1 inch across. 12 inches equal 1 foot. Okay. A centimeter is a unit of length in the metric system. Your little finger is about 1 centimeter across. All right, let's get started. Okay, yesterday with Mr. Ronnie, you talked about some non-standard units of measurement. You could measure with paper clips, you could measure with erasers, your little teddy bear, your little cube, or even a paper clip. And then we have our standard units of measurement, like a tape measure, or a ruler, and here in the picture you even see a scale. Alright, so we're going to be picking up where Mr. Ronnie left off yesterday. We're going to talk about let's explore the idea. You can use 1-inch tiles to help you understand a ruler. So number 2 says use the tiles to give you the length of this yarn. Alright? So what we're going to do, we're going to line up our tiles. We should always start at the end and line them up evenly. And as you see, when you line them up, sometimes you might have to adjust it once you get them down. All right, so how many tiles do you see? Okay, each tile we have here is 1 inch long. How long is your yarn? So let's mark them. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that would make our yarn 6 tiles long. Okay? So how long would that be in inches? If one tile is 1 inch and we have 6 tiles, how long is our yarn, guys? 6 inches? I agree. Okay? The number the tiles you use from 1 to 6. That's what we already did. This is what I showed you. We numbered our tiles. Okay? It says place one of these tiles above the ruler. Place it so that the left side of the tile lines up with the 0. Then put the other tiles in order to the next tile 1. What do you notice about the numbers on your tiles and on the ruler? Okay, I'll give you a minute to think about it. What do you notice? Okay, what Ms. Horn noticed is that tile 1 ended on the 1 on the ruler. And tile 2 ended on the 2 on the ruler. And the pattern carried on. 3 ended on the 3, the 4, 5, and the 6. Alright, so let's take a look. Let's talk about it. Okay, we don't have partners, but I'm your partner and you're mine on the other side. It says, where do you put the first tile when you measured the yarn? Where did we put it? So when we measured these, where did we put it? We put it at the very beginning edge of the yarn. So they would line up perfectly. Okay? How do you find the length of the yarn using tiles? What did we do? How did we do that? Okay? How did we do that? See what I'm doing? How did we do that? Okay? We just lined our tiles up perfectly. So we started at one edge and we ended at the end lined up. And we just simply counted our tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to change it a little bit. We're going to go from a non-standard unit of measurement to our standard unit of measurement using our ruler. Because you remember we said that rulers, tape measures, things like that are all standard units of measurement. Okay? So it says use your ruler to measure the yarn. What number on the ruler should you line up with the left end of the yarn? So I'm going to line it up. Take a look. What is that number on the left hand side? Well, that's a 0. We should always, when we're starting to measure, line up our ruler with the end of the object that we're measuring with the 0. Okay? So the number is 6. So we started at 0. And the end of our yarn is on 6. So we know using a ruler, using the inches, that it is 6 inches long. Okay? So now, we're going to try it another way. Okay? We're going to try it another way, but we're going to be using the same piece of yarn. Okay? But instead of using the inches right here, and it has, this is the inches, the numbers are further apart. We're going to flip it over here to where it says centimeters. CM stands for centimeters. We're going to use this, so that's how we're going to try it another way. Okay? So it says we're going to use the little centimeter cubes here that are like the tiles, but they're just smaller. So we're going to use these tiles to measure the length of the yarn and see how many we use. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay? Always when you're doing this, take another look and make sure you press them like that. Make sure you got them lined up perfectly, because you're not going to get an accurate measurement if they're not touching each other. Okay? So as we counted, each one of these is 1 centimeter long. Does anybody remember as I was doing it, I was counting? Okay? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, long. How long is the yarn? Well, if we have 1 inch centimeter cube, 1 centimeter cubes, then we have a yarn that is 11 centimeters. Okay? Now we're going to do just like we did with the inches. It says now use the centimeter side of your ruler to measure. Based on the ruler, how long is your yarn? So I'm going to move these out of the way. We're going to get our ruler out again and make sure when you're going to measure that you see, when it asks you to do it in centimeters, you look for that cm, and that'll tell you that you're using centimeters to measure. Okay? And remember, we should line up. This one doesn't have a 0, but it's right here under centimeters. We should line it up there. Right? So use the 1 centimeter cubes. We now measured it with the ruler. Did we get the same measurement? Yes, we did. So we now know, based on the ruler and the little cubes, that this yarn in centimeters is 11 centimeters long. All right? So thank you for joining us today. Tomorrow we'll have another lesson for you. Thank you.